Hi all, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today guys, we are going to be going all over all of my trash. Let's get into it. All right guys, so I have here next to me about 6 to 8 months worth of garbage, of like empty products that I've used. And let me just say this, I find filming Empties videos to be incredibly difficult. The main reason being having to hold on to the empty products. Because I live in a relatively small apartment, my instinct and desire is to, once I'm done with something, is to just chuck it and get it out of my life. So I don't know if this is going to be, depending on how this video does as far as views, this may be my last Empties video that I do. I tried doing it on Instagram and doing it monthly, but I just couldn't keep up with it. It was just like I would forget, and then I'd be like, oh, I'll roll that into next month. Oh, I'll roll that into next month. And then finally I was like, well, it's been 6 months, so you might as well just do an Empties video. So what I have here first, let's talk about, and I do have some makeup. I have skincare, body care, and some fragrance. So yeah. So first up, let's do body care, because that's probably the thing I have the most of, because I go through body care products like water. Like seriously, I am a body care girly. I love lotions, potions, and all that stuff for the skin. So I tend to, and I'm a firm believer in moisturizing. And so I tend to go through body moisturizers and body washes and, you know, just any kind of creamy body product really quickly. So first up, let's talk about my Salt Air products. Now, I used to be a Salt Air girly. Like, I purchased a bunch of their products some time ago and kind of fell in love with the brand. And what I tend to do with their stuff is buy like a lot at once and then work my way through it. So this last order that I did wasn't as big as my normal order, and I only bought 4 items, 2 body washes and then the corresponding body lotion. And so first up, let's talk about, and this one has been sitting collecting dust, so that's lovely. So this is the Skin Balancing Serum Body Wash in the Lush Greens scent. And then I also have it in the Restoring Body Lotion. Now, I believe this scent was discontinued, which devastated me because this is my favorite scent of theirs. And so I like the Santal Bloom. I also like Exotic Pulp, but this is the one that I really, really enjoy because it's just this really fresh, I mean, it's called Lush Greens. I would say it has sort of like green scent to it, but for me, it's very clean, very fresh, very light. It's not heavily scented. It's one of those things that you can wash with, and if you're wearing other products that are scented, like, you know, perfumes, they're not really battling with that because the scent is incredibly light and soft. And the thing that I loved about the Salt Air body wash was that it was very thick. You know, it was very like, it felt very like substantial and nourishing. And so this was like my jam, and I was very sad when they discontinued this, and I was like, well, what am I gonna do, because that's my favorite scent. So I decided to try another scent that I'd had my eye on, which was the Laguna scent. So I got the same thing. I got the body wash and the corresponding lotion. I liked the way this smelled. I didn't love it as much as the Lush Greens, but also I realized that Salt Air had reformulated their body wash. This body wash was incredibly thin and watery, and I felt like I went through this so quickly, And I realized this was probably an older, since they were discontinuing, they weren't making more of these. So when I ordered this, I probably had one of the older formulations, and this was one of the newer formulations, since this is a scent that they have currently in stock. And I just didn't love it as much. I was really bummed by that. I felt like it just didn't feel as like luxurious to me. It felt very watery, runny. I went through this really quickly. And so now I'm like, if that's their new formula, I don't know if I'm going to be buying any more of their body washes because I just preferred that thicker formula more. The body lotion, though, I think is really nice. It's really, it's got a perfect weight to it. It's not watery. It's not overly thick and like heavy. For me, this is a body lotion that I really love in the summertime. I don't know if it's enough for me in the winter, but in the summer, this is perfect because it still has that great like hydrating, moisturizing factor to it, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin when it's like hot outside and sticky, and you know, I don't feel like it's too much. But yeah, so I may revisit the body lotions, but I don't know if I'm gonna be purchasing the body washes anymore because of that reformulation. So next up, guys, I have two other body lotions, and one is the Prequel Barrier Therapy Skin Protectant Cream, and the other is my Hemp's moisturizer in Blushing Rose. Now, first off with this product I loved, I finished, I would have repurchased, but Prequel actually recalled this product. I think they were having some sort of issue with it. I didn't have any issues with my tube, so if they ever, just let the car go by, if they ever decide to like reformulate, I haven't been on their website recently, so I don't know if they have. I would repurchase this. I actually really like this. I use this a ton during the warmer months. And then another product that I was really sad to see was discontinued is the Hemp's body moisturizer in the Blushing Rose scent. Now, here's the thing. I used to not like the smell of roses, and I didn't like things that were rose scented. And I've since changed my mind. And I think the reason why I've changed my mind is that I've been able to find rose scents that are soft and aren't that heavy, cloying, like your grandma's perfume kind of scent. You know what I mean? That one that kind of like gives you an instant headache. I've found some really soft, really kind of enjoyable and sort of warm rose scents, and this was one of them, and I was really upset to find out that this had been discontinued. I finished this and I was like, oh, I want to buy another one. I can't. So I've since found another rose lotion that I'm going to talk about in my I'm doing a winter skin and body care video that I'm going to talk about, because I did find something that is a nice like scent dupe for this one. But yeah, finish this easily. Again, body lotions I can go through like water. It's not a thing. Next up, let's talk about face care. So I've got quite a bit here. I'm gonna start off with like moisturizers and like, I don't think I have any cleanser here. No, I don't have any cleanser because generally speaking, I use the same cleanser and I just buy a jumbo of it. I only wash my face with cleanser at night. So like I do my makeup removal and then I go in with my cleanser, and then in the morning I wash my face with like room temp water and then go in with my like moisturizer and sunscreen and things like that. So I don't tend to run through like facial cleanser that often. Talk about these bad boys here. So these are two Empty Andalou Naturals of their probiotic plus vitamin C renewal cream. I have two. I've gone through three of these. I went through one at the end of 2023, and then I bought one, and then that was this one, and then this one I finished relatively recently. I love this product. I think it's a really good moisturizer, and I think I've cracked the code for myself on how my skin likes to receive vitamin C, because I find serums to be kind of meh for me, but I do find that them being in a moisturizer, but not only being in a moisturizer, but paired with a probiotic really works for my skin. Now I have another, not exactly this, I have another probiotic and vitamin C moisturizer that I've been using from a different brand that again I'll talk about in my like skincare routine video. But this has, I definitely recommend this one if you are looking for something that has vitamin C and probiotic and that's easy to use. I would use this at, no, I would use it in the morning, because I would usually use this in the morning and then put my sunscreen on. The texture is lovely. It's not too light. It's not too thick. My skin felt really hydrated and plump, and I enjoyed it. I would have repurchased this had it not been out of stock. Everywhere I looked, this was out of stock, and I finally wound up finding something that is comparable. I like what I'm using now. I like, and so I'm not looking to repurchase this at the moment, but I could see myself down the line purchasing it. I think it's a great product. And then I also have here the product that replaced that product, the Andalou Naturals, when I ran out, was this product here from Self-Made, which is the Secure Attachment Comfort Serum. I received this in PR when I went to Creators and Friends in NOLA, and it sat in my to try like little bag for ages and ages and ages. And then I ran out of my Andalou Naturals, and I didn't have a moisturizer. I just hadn't been paying attention to the fact that I was running that low. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't have a moisturizer. And then I was like, let me go in the bag and see what I've got. And I had this, and I actually really I was shocked at how much I like this. Now, they kind of market it as like a priming moisturizer, like a moisturizer you use before you do your makeup, which works great. I was using this at night. I was using this after I took off my makeup. I would just put this on, and this was thick enough to work for me as just a regular moisturizer, and I loved it. It's very hydrating. My skin would have that like really juicy, plump, dewy look that you want after you do your skincare. That's what my skin will look like with this. Would I repurchase this? I don't know. The price point's kind of high for me. It's like, I think it's like $36 or $38, which I think is on the high end. But who knows? I might. I just got in a new daytime moisturizer, so I'm not going to repurchase, I'm not going to purchase it to replace it at this moment. But if you're in the mood for something that is kind of like, has that sort of like lightweight gel texture, but that is still really hydrating and gives the skin that sort of like glowy, dewy look, this is a good option. Yeah, so this is the Self-Made Secure Attachment Comfort Serum. And then I have another product that I received in PR in New Orleans from the Creators and Friends event, and this is from City Beauty, and this is the Blue Defense Hydrogel. Now, in my early attempts at posting my empties on Instagram, I had talked about the City Beauty body cream, like their body moisturizer, which I loved. I went through that jar so quickly. I absolutely loved it. This, not so much. I found this to be very heavily scented. I don't necessarily mind scent in skincare, but I felt almost like the scent was so heavy that it was almost like too much of the fragrance was in it, or like too much alcohol was in it. It has the consistency that I like in a moisturizer, where it's kind of like that cream gel, serum-y texture. But whereas I felt like with the Self-Made, it really kind of like really plumped the skin, and I felt like it was doing something. It was really like rehydrating and moisturizing my skin. I didn't feel that way when I would put this on. I would put it on, and I felt like 2 seconds later, my skin just felt like nothing. So this I wasn't a huge fan of this. I love their body butter, but this one I just was kind of a miss for me. But I did finish it because, why not? And then let's talk serums. I have, why did my voice do that? Serums. So the first one is the Rephr Rebalancing Essence version 1.0. This is do you see how big this bottle is? Look at this jar. I've had this forever. It took me forever to finish this because it's a serum. It's a serum, and I would put it on, and then I would, you do one little pump, and you pat your face, and you put your moisturizer on. So it took me forever to finish this. So for me personally, I don't know if I want to hold on to a skincare product for that long. I think you get an amazing amount of value with this product because it's not very expensive to begin with. And then you have this huge, it's 8.5 ounces. That's a lot. And it lasted a really long time. And it's 3% glycerin, 2% niacinamide, 2% metal foam seed oil, 1% panthenol, 1% betaine, and allantoin. I liked this. It's great. I think it is something that you can use. It says it's for all skin types, and I would agree with that. I used it in the morning and in the evening, and it still took me forever to get through it. So I liked it. It wasn't like the best serum I've ever tried, and oh my God, it rocked my world. But I'm like, if you really want like a really good basic serum, like hydrating serum that is a good bang for your buck. You feel like you're gonna get a lot out of it. Like, I don't know anyone else who's giving serums in jars this big. Like come on, like this is all, like, it's huge, and you're gonna get a lot of value out of it. So I think if you're looking for something where you're like, I don't have to replace my serums or every, you know, 1 to 2 months, this will do it. This lasted me like a year. What didn't last me, and what I was actually really irritated by, was the Bioma Moisturizing Gel Cream. This is, guys, I don't know about this, but let me just show you. So this is what the product looks like. Okay, comes like this. So you would think, I'm like, oh, so the product is all of this, right? Let me show you what the product is. The product is, let's see if I can, the product stops, I can't even show you. I can see inside of it, but the product stops here. You see how little that is? Because it doesn't have to go very far. Bioma is an affordable brand, and I've tried a couple. This is like the second thing I've tried from them, and I didn't love the product, but on top of that, the fact that I was not that much product in it to begin with, I just feel like I was a bit scammed by this product. I felt like it's making you think that you're getting all of this product in here, and really the component is like this big. It's just, it's a waste of money. It was a waste of money for me, and I wasn't wowed enough by this to be okay with that. You know, like I finished this so quickly. I think I finished this in less than a month, like 3 weeks. That's ridiculous. I have this little mini of the Peter Thomas Roth Water Drench SPF moisturizer. So this is a moisturizer with SPF. This was okay. I wasn't like wowed by it. I was using it more for the SPF factor than I was using it for moisturizer, but it did kind of work as both. It was okay. I kind of find Peter Thomas Roth's skincare to be a bit overpriced. I've tried a fair amount, and I think the products are good. I just think that they're overpriced for the quality. Like they're good, but they're not amazing. You know, like I feel like you can get just as good a product from a different brand with a lower price point. Also, let's talk about this little guy here, and this is a little mini of the Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue Facial Spray. So first time I tried this, I was like, I don't get it, and I think I was just expecting more from it than it could give me. At the time when I first purchased it, and this was ages ago, I was dealing with a lot of acne breakouts, and I know it works for a lot of people with acne breakouts. They spray their face with it and they're like, oh, it helps so much. It didn't really do anything for acne breakouts for me. What really did the thing for me was going on tretinoin. Game changer. So I think I was expecting more from this product than it could give me. And so I revisited it because I had heard that it was really good if you deal with like eczema and like skin irritation, which I've dealt with my entire life, and I especially deal with a lot in the extreme cold or the extreme heat. So I was using it for like heat rash and like little breakouts that I was getting, like little eczema patches and like things like that, and it was working beautifully. And so I was like, this is amazing. This is so great. And so I finished this little component, this little baby here, and I was gonna repurchase it, but I then placed an order with Prequel, who has a very similar product. I mean, what's it called? It is called hypochlorous. I always want to say hydro. It's hypochlorous acid. And that is the active ingredient in the Tower 28 as well as the Prequel spray. It's also a spray that you can get super duper cheap at the drugstore. So for me, I'm like, do I need to spend that kind of money on the Tower 28 one or even the Prequel one? I have the Prequel one. It's not finished yet. I still use it. And then once I finish it, I'm probably gonna just buy a drugstore version of it because I do love having this product on hand, that like active ingredient on hand for my skin. But knowing that it's easy to find in, like, go to Walgreens and just find hypochlorous acid spray, you can find it. It's cheap. I'll probably just do that, you know. But I do think that that is a great product to have. It's one of those like staple things to have on hand, especially if you have really sensitive skin like I do. All right, next up, let's talk about sunscreen. So I've got a few here. So I showed you the Peter Thomas Roth one, but I included that one more with like moisturizers because that's kind of how I was using it at the time. I was using it as a sort of 1-2 thingy. Just wanted to pull those out. So I've got 4 here. I had more. Again, I had been posting like on Instagram the first part of the year. So things that I've used since then have like gone out of my collection. So I've definitely emptied more than this, but this is what I have to show you guys, okay? So the first one I have is the Aveeno Protect and Hydrate Sunscreen. This is like a body sunscreen. I wasn't that wild by this, guys. It's fine. It's one of those sunscreens, and I hate this for body sunscreen. I purchased this because it was affordable, and I'm always interested in trying affordable sunscreens, especially American-made affordable sunscreens, because American sunscreens, in my opinion, are quite overpriced. So I tried this one. It's fine. What I didn't like about it is it does, even though it's not meant to, it does kind of after a while can get a little like in reapplication, get a little like peely, get a little tacky. You can start to see it on your skin a bit. I didn't like that. It's fine when you first put it on, but if you're trying to reapply, it kind of just like doesn't lay on top of itself very well. So I wouldn't repurchase this. I wound up repurchasing my Kula body sunscreen, which is infinitely more expensive than this one, but it's also a much nicer formulation. So, you know, trade-off. Same goes for this one from the Inky List. This is the Polyglutamic Acid Dewy Sunscreen. I did not like this. I did not like this at all. I didn't like the texture. I didn't like the way it felt on my skin. I didn't like the way it laid on my skin. I did not like it. I finished it because I purchased it. I purchased it in the Sephora Sun Care kit, and I was trying to, you know, I was looking to test out some other sunscreens, and it just, for me, that purchase, that purchase just kind of proved that I don't really like most US made sunscreens. Not all. I had some of my favorites, like I love Kula. I like that Saint Jane, which I have a little bit of that left. I would have included that in this one, but I've kind of been holding on to it because I do have a little bit left in it, so I have to finish that up officially. I took it with me to Vegas, and I wound up using another it's a whole story, but I haven't finished that one yet. I know I mentioned that, but I haven't quite panned that one yet. But that was the one thing that I found in that kit that I felt was like the winner, the star of the show. This, I know it's affordable, but this is a hard pass, And then I have 2 of my faves, which are Purito. This is the Wonder Relief Centella Daily Sun Lotion Urban Defense SPF 50+++. And then I have the Beauty of Joseon. I think this is the Relief Sun Rice Probiotics SPF 50. I've since repurchased both of these. I have my tube that I'm using now. This is my current sunscreen. This is the empty one, but I have an open one over yonder that I'm using right now. I love these sunscreens. We'll continue to repurchase. They're just really elegantly formulated. They're so nice on the skin. I don't feel like I'm wearing anything. They don't have any, like, you know, there's just no drawbacks for me as far as the way it applies to my skin. It's like applying a really beautiful, like, hydrating product that's also a sunscreen. It's lovely. I love them both. All right. One more body product that I forgot to mention because I just said it here, and I think I forgot to mention it because I have it with, I'm filming 2 videos and I have so much product in front of me, guys. Because I'm like, well, I'm pulling all these products out. Let me film my skin and body care routine video. So I have all of that here, and then all of my empties. It's a lot going on. Like right here, it's a lot going on. So this one is an empty, but I'm holding on to it because I want to show it in that video. So this is the L'Occitane. This is their almond oil, their almond shower oil. I love this stuff. I used to always just buy a mini because I was like, oh, I'm not going to finish it. You know, and it took me a really long time to finish one of the minis because I was just using it in conjunction with other things. Like I would use it one day and then I would use it as traditional shower gel and then I'd use another. So it took me a long time to finish it. This, however, took me no time to finish because what I've been doing with this and what I'm going to talk about in that video is how I've been combining this with other products in the shower. And I've gone through this like water. So I have since purchased a full size because I'm like, if we're going to be doing this, we need to buy a full size. But I love this stuff. If you're looking for something that is really luxurious on the skin, makes your skin feel so silky and smooth, and this is a great product for winter if you are someone who suffers with dry skin. Moisturize first of all, but second of all, try to find things that can really like help in the washing process, in the shower process itself. And I really love like scented body washes, but my skin is quite sensitive, so I kind of have to be careful about that. And one of the things that I've been loving doing is sort of using this in conjunction with other things to sort of help make sure that I'm protecting my skin barrier. But yeah, I love this. It doesn't have a strong scent to it. It does have a scent to it. It does have like a light scent to it. You know what it reminds me of? And this is going to sound, if you know, you know. Okay, so do you remember the VO5 hot hair oil treatments? That's what this smells like to me. That's what this smells like. If you know, you know. And I don't mind that smell. But yeah, it doesn't, other than that, it's pretty nondescript as far as the scent. All right, guys, so let's now talk hair, because I do have some hair empties here. Is that everything? Yes, so I've got 3 hair empties here. Or 2. Maybe I have 2. Okay, I have 2. So first up I have and this is how I squeeze this bottle to get the last of it. But this is my conditioner. I use the Redken All Soft conditioner, and I should just buy the jumbo, but in the moment I was like, I don't need the jumbo, and I really don't. Like, it takes me a really long time to get through these, but this is one that once I get to the dregs, I really do have to like squeeze the bottle. But yeah, this was recommended to me by one of my old hairdressers. It's really good if you have curly hair that is prone to tangling, which is my hair, because my hair is quite thick, but my strands are fine, so they can tend to tangle quite a bit. So if you're just looking for something that's really hydrating, really helps with like softening curls, softening strands, and helping with a little bit. It's not a detangling shampoo or conditioner, but it does kind of help a little bit. So this is what I use, one of the things I use on my hair, and this is just another bottle that I've gone through. And then this is another product that my hairdresser recommended to me, and this is the K18 Leave-In Molecular Repair Hair Mask. She had me start using this when I was getting ready to color my hair. And as you can see, it's grown out quite a bit. I'm going to be coloring it in the like spring. The roots are showing, but the roots won't be there forever. But the reason why I took a break from that, I was originally going to do it this winter, is because I had some health issues, like issues with iron, and my hair was breaking off. And so this is one of the things that kind of helped with that. And it wasn't because of the color, it was just that when you have low iron, things like your hair are one of the things to take the hit. And mine took not a huge hit, but enough of a hit that I had to like back off of like recoloring it for a while and really focus on getting it back to where it was. So this is one of the things that I use. Stop filming, but yeah, so this is one of the things that I use. I use this every time I wash my hair, and it really helped. And I started using it before I colored my hair, just to get my hair to like its best like place before I colored it, and it was great. I wasn't having a whole lot of shedding, you know, it kind of like reduced shedding, all of that. I really like this product, and I have since repurchased it. It is expensive. I get the mini because the large, like the regular size, is like $75 or something, which is insane. But the mini worked for me. Like, it lasted me from, I want to say, from maybe June of 2024 until, I want to say, October, November of 2024, which is a lot considering that I'm using this, and it's a, you know, it's a small bottle. A little bit goes a long way. You just put it in your hair and you emulsify and you put it into your wet hair. So a little bit goes a long way, which is why it lasted, which is why I feel like the mini for me is still a good purchase opposed to the larger size. Let's talk about some perfume minis, perfume empties. Did I say minis? Empties. I have 3, but I have 2. So I thought I'd had one. Okay, so I emptied out my mini of the Kayali Eden Juicy Apple. I had a mini in this kind of bottle and I finished it, and I was originally going to keep it and show it in my empties, but I think as that I threw it away. I think I showed it on Instagram and then chucked it. So I don't have it anymore. But I do have my other 2 empties. And so I have my Floor Mood Ring, which I've shown that I've since repurchased this. So I like this a lot, this scent, but I don't like it enough to buy a full size, but I feel that way about almost all Floor fragrances. I have thoughts and feelings about that, about Floor. But I have here, there is a tiny bit left in this, but I'm just counting it as an empty because I now have the full size, because a friend of mine gave me a Sephora gift card and I was like, I'm going to treat myself to a perfume. And I'm like, well, what do I want? And I was getting to the dregs of this and I was getting really upset about it. And this is Love Fest Burning Cherry, by the way. I don't know if I said that. And I was actually quite sad. I was like, oh no. And I was like, you know, rationing this tiny little bit. And you can kind of see here that it has like, okay, that was a mountain of product that just fell. You can kind of see here that it has a little bit. So I don't know. Next time I use it, I might hold on to this. I don't know. It's like such little juice. And I did spray it today to see how much will come out, and not a lot is even coming out. So I think this is kind of done, even though it's a little bit like tiny bit, it's not really coming out of the atomizer. So I think it's probably done. And so I purchased the full size. So, but I kind of was going back and forth. I really wanted either that one or the Eden Juicy Apple. And so I was like, I'm just going to get Love Fest Burning Cherry. I do think the next full size of Kayali that I purchased will probably be Eden Juicy Apple. This is from the Face Shop, and I got this on Yes Style, and this is the Rice Water Bright Light Facial Cleansing Oil. And I got this to replace, I had just finished the Peach and Lily cleansing oil, and I had been trying, I'm more of a cleansing balm girl. I've been a cleansing balm girl for years, but I decided to revisit cleansing oils to see how I felt about them. And I liked the Peach and Lily one just fine. I think it's a little overpriced, but I was like, this is nice. This is nice. I'm like, well, let me see if I can find a cheaper alternative. So I decided to try this one. I was not a fan of this one. It just, for me, after using the Peach and Lily, which I liked, but didn't love, but wanted to I wanted to know more. I wanted to learn more. So I was like, let me try a different one. And for me, after finishing this, it just brought home the fact that I am not a cleansing oil girly. I like a cleansing balm. I just do. I like a cleansing balm. I felt like this was not taking my makeup off completely. Like I felt like I needed to then go back in with like micellar water or like my eye makeup remover. Like it didn't, first of all, this never took off my mascara, like ever. I could never get my mascara off with this. So this would take off my face makeup for the most part, but I always had to go in with like eye makeup remover to get rid of my mascara. And now I don't mind using eye makeup remover. I have an eye makeup remover for when I'm wearing like heavier eye looks, sort of like today. Like this is not something that I would just go in, you know, I wouldn't just like raw dog some cleansing balm with this. I could, but I feel like it's more work than I'm down for. So usually what I'll do is just go in with like my eye makeup remover, remove that, and then go in with my cleansing balm because it just makes my life easier. But with that, I feel like I didn't even have a choice, you know, like I had to do that because if I didn't, I couldn't remove all of my eye makeup, and that was obnoxious. Speaking of eye makeup remover, my beloved Sephora waterproof eye makeup remover. I love this. This is kind of like a dupe for the Lancome by Facile eye makeup remover, which has gone up in price consistently. And I'm just kind of like, nah, fam, I'm not going to do that. And I tried this on a whim and I was like, oh my God, it's basically the same thing. This is exactly the same. This is the Sephora. This is the smaller size. I had the bigger size. emptied it, went to purchase it, and it was out of stock. And I guess all of the makeup girlies have caught on to the fact that this is a dupe for the Lancome eye makeup remover, because they cannot keep that in stock at all. I had it in my cart during the Sephora sale and got cart jacked. It was gone, and then they brought back the mini, so I got the mini, and now I have a new mini in my bathroom. And I'm just waiting for them to come back with the full size. Now, one thing I have noticed is that Sephora looks like they're packaging. They're like redoing all their packaging for their skincare. So I'm thinking that may be a reason why it's out of stock, because they're like repackaging and things. I'm just hoping that that doesn't mean that they're reformulating as well, because this is like so good. And the small is $11 and the large is $16, as opposed to like $30 for the Lancome. It's just, you know, just get this one. If you can get your hands on it, just get this one. It's so good. It's the same, but cheaper, like half the price, literally. Let's talk makeup brush cleansers. Yeah, so I have 3. So first I have the Sigmagic Brush Shampoo Foam. I like this. I will say this. One thing, I talked about this in a video that I use this all the time, and I use it every time I wash my brushes. But one thing I have noticed, I have been doing really well. Hold on a second. One moment, please. I forgot I had tea, and it's getting cold. Let's have my little spoon from stirring in my honey. Hold on a second. It's just a little black tea, just a little decaf black tea at the end of the day. You know, cozy, warm. Okay, so what I discovered is that I was doing really well on cleaning my brushes on a regular basis. Like I have since fallen off the wagon with that. I'm gonna try and get back up on the horsey and ride it, but I don't know. We're gonna see. I was washing my brushes once a week. I was a star. I was like, look at me, washing my brushes every weekend. What? And when I was using this for that, it was working fine, because my brushes were being washed on a regular basis. There just wasn't a lot of pigment and things for it to wash out. But the moment I stopped doing that and went in with this, it was a no-go when it came to like my foundation brushes. So I like this, but if you're a girly like me who takes forever to wash her foundation brushes, and then you go in and it like filled with pigment, this is not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. It's a good cleanser though. Like it works fine for like eyeshadow brushes. I even think it works well for like concealer brushes because they're smaller, but I feel like if you're trying to get like a lot of pigment, like a lot of foundation out of a brush, that is not going to be enough. However, the Sigmagic Sigma Scrub, this stuff here, oh my God, guys, this is so good. And it worked so well for me, and I'm gonna get another one. Let me just, if I can take the lid off, but let me just show you what it looks like if you don't know. This is what it looks like. It still has a little bit of soap in here, but it's not really enough to do anything. So, so it has these like bristles, and the soap is like in here, and you can use it to like, basically what it does is the bristles help like dislodge all of that pigment and, you know, gunk, and it pulls it out. And but all of this is soap, so while you're doing that, it's also washing the brush. It's just a great little product, and it's a 2-in-1 makeup brush cleanser and tool. So yeah, I like this a lot, and I would repurchase this. I think this worked really well for like if you had a lot of embedded pigment. This worked really well for that. And this is sort of what I would use this for. I would sort of use this for the foundation brushes, and I would use the foam shampoo for like powder products. And then also I have the little box here for the rougher gentle brush soap. This stuff is amazing, and this is actually something that gets everything out. Like, I really like the Sigma because of the scrubby. With this, I have to use my actual like scrub mat because this doesn't have that, but it's a really good soap that works well with natural hair brushes, because that's what this formulated it for. Because rougher, I mean, they're doing it's formulated for natural brushes, and it works well with natural brushes and with synthetic. You can use it for both. I love this stuff. I just finished this and I'm kind of sad. I'm gonna repurchase, and I'm gonna probably repurchase the Sigmagic brush scrub thingy as well. All right, guys, we have come to the end of the video, and what do we have to talk about last? Makeup. Yay! Okay, so I actually emptied some makeup, guys. I emptied some makeup, and let me just say this. Let me preface this by saying I've hit pan on a couple of things that I'm not counting as empties because I haven't finished them yet. So technically, I mean, I've hit pan on some concealer and a foundation, but I'm not counting that in this, okay? Because I'm still using them until they're finished. But these are products that I actually finished. So first up, we're gonna talk about this. And this is actually wild to me. Ambulance is passed. So I am shocked and amazed and proud of myself because I panned a whole ass foundation. What? Who even am I? A star. That's who I am. Yes, I panned an entire bottle of Sephora Reveal the Real Soft Radiant Skin Tint. This is it. Stop throwing things somewhere. This is empty. This is empty. It's empty. There's nothing here. I repurchased this. I named this as one of my favorite products of 2024. This particular like skin tint. It's definitely one of the best skin tints I've ever tried. And I love this product and I use it on the reg. Okay? This is in my weekly, daily repertoire. Not wearing it today because I decided to wear the foundation that I'm panning. But yeah, I finished this, guys. It's empty. I'm so proud of myself. So this is shade 200 in medium. This one's slightly too light for me, but the one right above it is slightly too warm. So what I have is actually one of these and then that one, and I mix them together and I get my perfect shade. So yeah, so I love this, and it's only $22. That's why I didn't feel any way about purchasing two of them, because I felt like it was affordable, and with them I was getting a really good, match for my skin tone. I love this product. Highly recommend if you're looking for like a really nice light coverage skin tint. Then I finished one of my brow products. So this is my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in Dark Brunette. This is my go-to brow pencil. I purchase these in bulk. I usually purchase 3 at a time when they go on sale on Ulta, when they do like the buy 2 get 1 or something like that. I usually stock up. So I have 2 that are currently in rotation. Basically what had happened was I had started one and then I was packing for Vegas last month and then I couldn't find it, so I just opened the other one and took that to Vegas. So now I have 2 open, but I'm only using one. Now that I'm back home, I'm concentrating on one. But yeah, this is just my favorite. It's a perfect dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills, like perfect dupe. These are like $11. I think the Anastasias are like in their like mid-20s now. They were like 20 when I was buying them, and inflation and all, I think they're like 23, 24 or something crazy like that. These are $11. I'm just saying. All right, and then I have here the Huda Beauty Faux Filler Lip Gloss in Posh. I finished this so fast, I shocked myself. Okay, I bought this in April of last year, and I finished it by end of summer. Because I was wearing it that much. I was wearing it every single day because I have a whole process with lipstick. I've mentioned it before in videos, but I don't know if I kind of just mentioned it in passing. But what I tend to do when I'm wearing lipstick is that I will do my makeup and I'll put on a lip look, a lip color, and that's what I wear for half the day. And then after lunch, I tend to want just a gloss on. And so what would often happen, and this past summer, I wasn't wearing lipsticks that much. I was just mostly wearing glosses. And this was one of my go-to like weekend glosses when I just wanted a gloss and I was switching between this and another gloss I'm going to show you that I emptied as well. I was going back and forth between the two. But yeah, this is, I know some people didn't like the faux filler. I had no problems with it. A lot of people were saying that it was doing that like stringy thing. I honestly feel like people were just applying too much. I'm just gonna be honest. I think people were applying too much because I didn't experience that. I never had that problem with this gloss. So I don't know. I really like this. I've since purchased it in the darker shade, that like Choco Cocoa shade. I have it in that shade in a mini, because that's a really dark color, and I'm like, a mini kind of will probably work better than me buying a full size. But I really like this product. I think it's nice. I like the color. It's like sheer, but it did have a little color to it. It wasn't one of those glosses where I felt like, if you have pigmented lips, you know what I'm talking about, where something will have color in it, and you'll see the pictures, the swatches, and all of the models will have color on their lips, and then they get to the model with pigmented lips and it just like looks like a clear gloss. This wasn't like that. It had just enough pigment that I felt like I actually had something on my lips. Another item that I totally panned and that I loved was the e.l.f. Sun Boss. Yes, Sun Boss gloss, and I have it in the shade, what this called? It's Your Mauve. Okay, I have since repurchased this. One of you in the comments, when I was talking about looking for a lip gloss that had SPF in it, mentioned, you know, recommended this gloss to me. This gloss has become my jam. I'm wearing it right now. I actually paired it over a lippy. I paired it over, I'm wearing this gloss, not this actual, because I repurchased this, so the new tube of this. I actually paired over this lipstick, the Pat McGrath Satin Allure in Nude Romantique 2. I love this gloss. It's like pigmented, but not too pigmented. It has SPF in it. It's not sticky. It's very smooth and glidey. And like I said, I was going back and forth between this one and the Huda, and I emptied them right around the same time. Like, I think within a week of each other, I like panned one and then panned the other. And so I was just like, oh, I had to immediately repurchase. So yes, this is kind of like something that's probably going to be a staple for me. When I pan the other one, I'll probably repurchase it again because I just think it's a fantastic formula. Then I have my About Face Beauty Shadow Fix Primer, eyeshadow primer. This is not empty, but it's gotten to that point that happens with eyeshadow primers where they get really dry. So there's still some product in here, but it's quite dried out, and it's mostly empty. Like there's not a lot in here. You can kind of see what I mean, how it's just kind of dried out. So I have since purchased a new one, so I'm just calling this a wash. I just feel like this is kind of what happens with these type of eyeshadow primers, because they're kind of like mascaras in the way that you're constantly opening them and they're being exposed to, you know, air, and then they slowly kind of, as you use the product that's at the bottom of the tube kind of gets dried out. So it's not a whole lot left in here. It's maybe a tiny bit. I could probably get another use out of this, but honestly, I also wasn't liking the way it was applying because it was getting dried out. It was kind of leaving like, it usually goes on like quite sheer, like quite light, but it was actually leaving like, you can kind of even see it here on my hand a little bit. It was leaving kind of like a weird cast, and that's how I kind of knew it was kind of dried out and ready to go. But this is my favorite, or current favorite, eyeshadow primer, and so I just repurchased a new one. And then I have a product that is not empty, but it has seen its time. So this is my Milani Rose Doro baked powder blush, and I've had this particular one for ages. Like, it's even in the old packaging, and I was wearing this not too long ago, and I put it on, and I kept feeling like I put it on and then it was just like gone, and then I reapplied and it would just be like gone, and then I just realized that this is just really old and there's probably just not a lot of pigment left in it. So it's just time to go. So this isn't empty, but it's kind of an empty. It's dead. It's like gone. There's no pigment left. All right, guys. So those were all my empties. I feel like that was a pretty long video, longer than I anticipated, but I did have way more than I realized. It's a lot, but yeah. So tell me in the comments, do you guys like empties videos? Because again, like I said, if this doesn't do well, if you guys aren't really feeling it, and the way that I know if you like something is if you're liking the video, you're commenting on the video, you're watching the video. Those are all the analytics that tell us YouTubers, us content creators, what you actually like to see. So if you're not watching this video, you're not liking and commenting, then I'll know that you don't like it. But you can also just let me know in the comments, like, do you like empties videos? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, like the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.